wing of the huge uh, institution, a huge movement, okay, that is established only for the sole intention, for the sole purpose of spreading meditation and spiritual science, which is a must for every human being, in fact. In that, whenever you want to be acquainted with this sort of few science or spiritual science, or when if you wish to be spiritual, you kindly remember three topics, three words at least. What is that? You have to remember love, light, and power. Okay, these are the three components forming part of the whole lot of spiritual science. So you must have nobility, ability, and capability. Nobility is in loving others. You will be very friendly others. You will be a friend of global, the entire globe. Okay, so that is the first requirement of spiritual science. We must be able to love everybody, including yourself and all the species on this planet. Similarly, you must be able to acquire sufficient wisdom to distinguish what is right and what is not. This sort of third eye, third eye, that is not this physical eyes. Physical eyes cannot distinguish what is right and what is wrong. But if you have a sixth sense, that is called third eye, so the third eye is nothing but wisdom. Wisdom is a sort of facility, high understanding to have some clarity in our life, what is to be done and what is not to be done, okay, what is right and what is wrong. Okay. And then we must have third content, third word, very great word is there, power. We must have some power, otherwise we cannot implement what these two words uh, explain to us. What is the first word? Love or nobility. Second word is wisdom. So these two items should be implemented. For that we must have sufficient power. Power means you must be able to work hard, you must be able to earn money for that, and you must have a very determined uh, intellectual power to implement whatever your wisdom says. And you must be able to stand on your own legs in this materialistic life. That is the power. To win over this materialistic power, materialistic world, we must have sufficient power. What is that power? That power is to help others. We should help ourselves first. If we are able to help ourselves, to have some sort of ability to work, to be comfort, to be peaceful, to be happy in our own life, then we can make others also more comfortable, more happy, and more loving people. If you are happy, then you can give happiness to others. If you don't have happiness with you, then you cannot give any kind of happiness to others. At the most, we can give only hardship. We can only make them cry, that's all. We will trouble them, that's it. So, my dear master, these three topics, these three items are very great and form part of the whole science. Kindly remember these three words, okay? Then we will go to the next topic. I will show you the mega pyramid in Bangalore city. In the outskirts of Bangalore city, we have this mega pyramid meant for only meditation. Kindly, we are all inviting you to kindly come over and enjoy the campus here and have the great wisdom and implement the spiritual science there by practical meditation, and for getting over a sort of real values of life to be cherished. Okay. And now today we will go with the topic of food. Okay. Okay, yesterday we were telling we have both kinds of food. What is that? Visible and invisible food. That is pranic food and physical food. Okay. And we were just understanding what is the real, what is the correct kind of food which we should take. Okay. I'll drag this and keep it down below. Okay. Then, kindly understand, my dear friends, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. These are the contents of good food and what we are should take. Actually, whatever food we are offering to God, that should be taken by us also. So, leafy vegetables, fruits, and water. These three should be forming part of our food. And other kind of food we should not take. Whatever we offer to the God, same thing we should take. That is the important point here. So we are all gods, So the spiritual science says that every being in this world, whichever is moving or non-moving, has in fact uh, the lives, the life which is called spirit, that is called self. So we are all united by self, and self is the cause of the creation. Okay, we are all made up of that kind of self, which is nothing but God, we call. Okay, that is a different topic. I will tell you what is God and how it is in the next coming classes. So for today, we should know that we are also gods, and whatever we are offering kind of food, to our gods, we should also take the similar food. Not, we cannot offer to take something else. Okay. But in the so these are the food of gods. What is making food of gods is only vegetarian food. Okay. Yesterday we were discussing, we have only vegetarian food. But unfortunately in the society we find, a lot of non-vegetarian food. What is non-vegetarian food? Which is something other than the vegetarian food is called non-vegetarian food. Okay. So this, but the spiritual science demands us to take only vegetarian food. Why? Because that is all. Okay, physical science says there is no pain in vegetables if cut. Yesterday I discussed about this. The plant kingdom is the food for all the species on this earth planet. Okay. And then human anatomy also is so structured that it will not provide for any food which is not vegetarian food. Because anatomy of our body system is meant only for vegetable kind of food material. Okay. Then vegetarian food can be consumed for lifelong, no problem. Okay. But any other food if you take, you cannot avoid vegetarian food. That is the thing. You can avoid any food other than the vegetarian food. But vegetarian food you can never avoid continuously or for longer time. Then vegetarian food has got everything what is required for the human being, human physical body. Okay. Then what kind of food? It should be sattvic. That's what we are now discussing. And then on top of it, this vegetable food is also food for gods. Fruits, water and everything is meant for a divine food. Okay. Animal food is not recommendable. Okay. Because it involves killing of animals. It involves violence. So we have to shun violence. We need to follow non-violence in our life, if at all we want to be happy. And second point is human anatomy is not so designed also. In humans, the system of the body, the anatomy of the body does not does not help the non-vegetarian food to digest or whatever it is, to give sufficient strength and all that. So we don't have that. Actually, our system is adaptable only for vegetarian food, like intestine, this and that. If you go into the anatomy of the physical body, you will understand that. So that system is not congenial to any food other than vegetarian food. Followed? And top of it, other food is not digestible easily. So this animal food should not be there. it is not properly digestible in human system of body. Okay, then you cannot consume other food, including animal food, for longer time. You cannot continue only that food for lifelong. No, it's not possible. Man cannot sustain. He will be going to um, a dangerous ill health system. Ill health will be there for him. Then it gives rude and the mental balance also will be disturbed with that sort of animal food or any other food if you take. So, and top of it, if you kill the animals and eat, that also incurs a sort of effect on your law of karma policy. Whatever you do, you will get it. That is the karma siddhanta. So when you kill something, then you will have to experience the same pain and you will get killed. So all these things suggest that we should avoid any kind of food which is not vegetarian. Okay. You see this slide, there is a lion is there. Lion is, it kills and eats flesh and blood. So we call it as a cruel animal. Suppose a man also catches a goat or cow or whatever it is and kills it and eats. Then what shall we do? What can we call such a kind of person? What are they, in fact? So they are also doing same thing what these cruel animals are doing. They are also killing animals, no? So that is the reason so we should turn vegetarian, and there is another higher consciousness that goes into only to be vegetarians. We should not even take leafy vegetables, but we should go vegetarians, fruits only. On top of it, further consciousness says that we can also live with only breath. Breatharians we should become. We should not even take any solid thing. Only on the breathing itself we can sustain our body. That's what spiritual science says. So animals are friends, we should not take. All these things are all vegetarian animals are also there. See, in this picture, so many animals are there, but they are all not eating any meat or they are not killing their own brother animals. Okay, so some of the great masters on this planet, Socrates, he was a vegetarian person. Plato on the western side, Diogenes, Pythagoras, Shakespeare, Benjamin, then Albert Einstein, Bernard Shaw, see, Gautama Buddha, Mahatma Gandhi, all these people are, they are all advocating vegetarian food. So they are all great persons. Are they not having sufficient? Why they are not attracted towards animal food? Uh, uh, do they suffer any sort of ignorance? No, they are wise enough. They are very great, and those people are taking vegetarian side. They are vegetarians. Why can't we? We should understand why they have adopted vegetarian food in their life. Spiritual progress does demand at some stage we should cease to kill our fellow creatures for the satisfaction of our bodily wants. That's what Mahatma Gandhi says. So we have to progress ourselves to avoid animal food from now onwards. So this is what the other day we were speaking on. Now we will go with the kinds of gunas and all those things. Okay, so my dear masters, I think these slides are not saved, I think. So they are not reflected here. Anyway, I can just take you along with this very great knowledge of the food and according to the gunas of individuals, my dear friends, when once we are thinking of the gunas, qualities of the people, what kind of people and what kind of food. See, there are varieties of classification of the human beings and classification of the food, what they are supposed to take. This is the lesson of the today. Okay. There are three kinds of people. Uh, the categories are, one is sattvic people, second one is rajasic people, third one is, okay, now are you able to see now? Hello?
Yes, sir. Tell me.
Now are you able to see this now? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now there is no slide, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Now there is no slide.
No slide. Fine. Good. Okay. So we are categorized into three kinds of based on the qualities of the people. One group is called sattvic people, second group is called rajasic, third group is tamasic people. So the rajasic people, first category of people, who are they? They are sattvic people. They are sufficiently knowledged. They will be having a sort of noble qualities, and they are indulging in the service orientation. Okay, they serve the people. They do not harm the people, and they maintain their dignity in the society, and they will also work for uplift of others. And basically, they are mainly oriented towards service to others. Okay, they serve the people. These people are called sattvic people. The kind of food what they take is, normally they are interested in the the food should be as far as possible in liquid form actually. So the liquids, and then they should be tasty, priti vivardhanaha, ayuhu, sattva arogya, bala, sukha, priti vivardhanaha. These are the kinds of food what they take. The food should be in that fashion. The food should be able to give long life. Ayush kodabek. Ayush means long life. So the food that gives, that helps to have longer lifespan should be increased. Then mental ability, sattva means mental ability. It should be able to give. And then bala means physical strength, also it should be given. Then sukha priti vivardhana, then you should be comfortable, happy, and then it should be priti vivardhana. Priti means you should be liking the food. Whenever you are sitting before a dining table, you should be able to enjoy that, have a liking for the food. If you dislike the food, then it is a sort of thing which is imposed on you. That's not correct, and that food will not work. Sattvic food, sattvic food will be not like that. Sattvic food always should be likable to the people, and it should be able to have this sort of qualities. What are the kinds of foods? Those foods will be normally liquid, will be normally oily. The oil should be there compulsorily. Ghee should be there. The food associated with this sort of oil, liquidity should be there, and then ghee and more hydrates should be there, water content should be there in that, and tasty should be there. So these are all the things are there. Rasyaha, what is rasyaha? He says that means liquids. Smrutiyaha, that means it should be good smelling and all that. Your mind should be very very cheerful when once you are seeing that kind of food. It should be like that. Rasyaha, rujyaha, sthiraha. Sthiraha means that food should be sustainable in the body for some time. So that is called hydrates and all those things. These things we should include in our food. Okay, one is rasyaha, ujyaha. Snigdhaha means smelling. A good smell should be there. Odor. Okay, and freshness should be there. That's what they say. Okay. Rasyaha, ujyaha, snigdhaha, sthiraha. Sthiraha means for a long time they should stay in the body. Okay, hydrates and all those things. And then oil also should be there. See, food should not be without any oil. Oil means you can take any kind of uh, good oil like ghee, curds, okay, milk, or whatever it is, like that. Okay. So these are the things that form part of sattvic food. Sattvic person, sattvic. Then what about the rajasic person? Second kind of group of people are there. Rajasic. These kind of people always, they are very, very active in the materialistic life. They want to achieve something for them. Their intellect, they are having a lot of good intelligence over the materialistic affairs. Okay, they want to earn money, fame, name, everything. Okay, materialistically. So these people are always directed only towards doing some great work, continuous work, indulgence in the work, and that work not for any good of this society or whatever it is. The main intention is to earn money, to get their own fame, name, and all those things. For personal reasons, they work. Of course, byproduct will be there, some people will be benefited. Okay. But the target is that self-esteem, the self-esteem, they say, ahankara. And they go after fame. Peru ravali, kirti kanduti anamata. So they always go for that kind of work. These people are all rajasic, they say. They take, of course, they want to conquer everybody. Okay, they want to control everybody. Just like king. King does that work. Keep the people under control. Of course, taking care of the welfare is all right. It's a product of that. But on top of everything, the prime target for these kind of people is their fame, name. That is what everybody wants to be a king. Not for others, for himself he should be wanting to be a king. King status they want. So this kind of quality of thinking, mental thinking, comes under this rajasic category. Okay, and these people, they will be only after this kind of food. What kind of food it is? It's always, it is all associated with a lot of spicy food. Okay, and a lot of bitter food, harsh food, harsh food, because they are all oriented with a lot of a tough-natured people. Okay. So like that, katu, amla, that's what they say. And we're thirsty. Ruksha vidahinaha. Ruksha means vidahina means thirsty. Ruksha means very sharp. Okay. So this kind of food, and very spicy food. And they go for that. So this kind of food we should avoid. It should be a sort of sattvic food we should take, having some liquid content more. Oil should be there, like ghee and all those things should be there. So these are the kind of foods, normally Bhagavad Gita says we should avoid that. Katu, amla, we should avoid. Ruksha vidahinaha, they says. Okay. Ushna, ati ushna, we should avoid. Ati ushna means more hot, wherever, too hot dishes should not be taken. That is what very, very importantly we should know. We should have the heat should be regulated. And then such food only we should be able to take. Then our mental qualities will be on those lines. Okay. If you are restricting the food to be of the type of sattvic, you will develop sattvic qualities. If you are interested only in taking this sort of spicy foods and all that, harsh foods, spicy foods, and then with bitter and a lot of pungent odor, pungent, too hot, these kinds of food, if you are accustomed to, then your mind will be towards only rajasic nature. Always you will be, after some sort of work, you will be forgetting the service of others, you will be forgetting the hurting of others, all these things. And in effect, it will end up in violence on others. So, my dear friends, we should cultivate right kind of habits of food. Okay. So, third category is Thomasic food. Okay. Thomasic means the ideal natured food, because not ideal, the ideal ideal fellow, lazy fellows, lazy people. Always they are uh, looking after their own personal gains. They always go for food, not more than that. So everything is revolving on their own personal body, personal necessities, family necessities. Only self-centered people. These people are like this, they want everything. And they are also, of course, some devotees are there, but they are also self-centered. They don't want anything else more than food, roti, kapda or makan, that's it. They work only for that, nothing more than that. And no ethical life. For achieving that, they will not follow ethical life. They will not follow sattvic qualities. They don't have qualities. I will tell you about qualities of the people. Okay. Now after this, so these people work only for their personal gains, self-centered people. By unethical means, whatever they want, they will do it. Even if they go to God, also they will say, "Oh God, you help me in robbing somebody." That is the Thomas, I know. See, it is like that. So they do not go for the welfare or good for themselves or others. So this kind of people, their food also, they say, they take the kind of food what they take normally, or the food which is called tamasic food, is covering the the food which is not fresh, one thing. The food which is cooked some days together earlier, okay. So day long food. Yesterday they would have cooked, today they take. That's not correct. Very cold food we should not take. And the food which is smelling very bad, odor, it's not, we should not take. And we also should not take the uncooked food or half cooked food. Okay, it's not correct. Okay, half cooked we should not take. So sufficiently it should be cooked, and it should be fresh. It should not be more than 1 hour. Okay, 1 hour old food is called tamasic food. It loses its freshness. So fresh food is coming under sattvic food, and tamasic food it is cooked after a long time before, say day long food. That's not correct. And a cooked which is spoiled, we should not take. And the food which somebody has left out, we should not take. So these are all the things are there, coming under Thomasic food. So my dear friends, when you are having this sort of habits of food, then you will be classified according to that kind of food. Kindly let us avoid Thomasic food, let us avoid Rajasic food, let us have only sort of sattvic food. That is superior food. Okay. Then you will have, the mind also will be steady, and you will have a sort of ethical life, and you will be helping others apart from yourself. Okay. So these are the information that's available to us from a legendary book, Bhagavad Gita also. Okay, now the part of qualities, how the pupil should be. The sattvic man must have a sort of courage. Okay, he should be, first of all, sattvic gunas, how they are bestowed with the qualities, how they behave. Okay, behavioral science. First thing is they must have a sort of wisdom, a sort of clarity in the life should be there. That is called wise people. So the wisdom is the first character of a sattvic person. Tejaha, dhrutihi. Dhrutihi means we should have a sort of courage. Okay, dhairya is a bit. Sthiraha, steady mind should be there. Okay. Natimanita, he says, that is, you should not have self-esteem. That you should not, I think that I am only the great person, not correct. Ahankara should be given up. Okay. Egotism should be given up. Okay. So, lot of patience you should have. Perseverance, that is called patience. And lot of excusing, that is, you should forgive. That is most important. So you should cultivate forgiveness, should cultivate patience. And self-esteem should not be there, should be given up. So these people have got, these are the actually properties of a good person, a sattvic person. These are called actually the wealth, actually. What is the wealth of people is, these are the qualities. If we possess, we have a lot of wealth with us, not money. Money comes and goes, it doesn't stand. But when you cultivate kind of wisdom, clarity in the life, and when you are a non-egotistic person, and when you are having a lot of grace to deal with the materialistic world in an ethical way, and then you have a lot of tejaha, dhruti, natimanita, akrodha, that means you should not have anger. Okay. The very best quality of a sattvic person is no anger. Okay. Akrodha, that is most important thing, quality. So kindly remember, akrodha is a wonderful nature. Natimanita, ahankara, rahita, sthiti should be there. That is, without egotistic mind we should work. These are the qualities that go towards sattvic person. Okay. Now, rajasic person. Actually, a rajasic person or whatever it is, so their qualities are all work-oriented people. They want to conquer others. They want to control others. They are not taking care of a sort of ethical ways of life. Their target is only achieving the success. That's it. So this kind of quality they will possess always. Okay. Even they do dana, that is only for name sake. That is only for fame and name, and not for the welfare of the other people. They work only towards their own end, their own personal gain. Then similarly, tamasa people also are actually, as I said, where these people will go even to the temple, they will pray uh, for their own ends to allow some sort of thing. They'll say, today I am going to kill somebody, you please give me success in that. That's what their request to the God. So these kind of people are there, non-ethical. And similarly, Rajasic people also, even if they go to temple, they will only give money to the gods and ask so many things. Now today I am going to do this project or I have applied some tenders here. So let me have a sort of good for that, in that mission. So they ask their success in their own missions, but never towards realizing themselves, never towards realizing the people, never towards the friendly, lovely sort of qualities will not be found with them. So with this kind of three kinds of people we have, so we should be careful to adopt our life in a very sattvic way. And then lastly, all sorts of things are there. And the properties of real wealth of the people, I will tell you today. Real wealth of the people, what not this roti, kapda or makan, and whatever money and all those things, fame, name and all those things. We are all going for that. But they are all not our targets. It should not be. Okay, they are not our permanent assets. We don't find any asset in this. Everything is again changeable. If you got fame, Today you will get fame, next day only you will be disturbed. Okay? You will be pushed to the other position. So like this, nothing is permanent in this physical world. So there is no asset here. That is what spiritual science says. Simply all pseudo assets we are making. Pseudo assets, that means false assets we are making. We think that we have a lot of money, we have some asset. We think that big money house, we have an asset. They are not assets, my dear friends. That's why they are all false assets. What are correct and real assets? There are 8 assets for every human being, given in our spiritual literature. What are they? ఏమిటి చెప్పండి? అసలైన ఐశ్వర్యము, రియల్ wealth. What is the real wealth? What does it constitute? What are the components of that? Number 1 is ahimsa. See, we should follow only non-violence. We should not violent in this. If you are able to be non-violent, you are a very great wealthy person. Okay. That wealth will not go anywhere. It will be with you. Ahimsa prathamam pushpam. That's what the God requires us to acquire. First flower, what we have to help the God with is not money, not anything. He doesn't want anything. We have to give only one thing, that we should cultivate non-violence, no hurting others. Ahimsa prathamam pushpam. Pushpam indriya nigraha. We must have control in our own senses. Whatever you see, you should not go after that. So that sort of quality we must have. That is the real asset for us. If you are able to control yourself and your indriyas are very, very dangerous. Whatever it sees, we go after that. The desires, wants, all these sort of things we should not. So, ahimsa prathamam pushpam. Pushpam indriya nigraha. Sarvabhuta daya pushpam. Next item of wealth is compassion. Sarvabhuta daya. Compassion we should develop. You should be kind enough to others. You should not scold, you should not abuse, you should not insult, you should not trouble, you should not eat their mind, you should not eat their head. Yesterday I was telling you, when we are taking animal food, we are not only killing animals, we are killing our own head, our own pupil, and top of it we kill our own mind also. So if you are worrying, you are killing your own mind. That is not correct. You are violent against yourself only. That's not correct. Should not worry. Even if you do a mistake, don't worry about it. No worry. No paschatapa. Paschatapa is the wrong word used. The word is okay, but wrong meaning is taken in the society. There are so many words which are simply used without proper application of that. Paschatapa means tapasya paschat. So something happened untoward or error, and you should not worry about it. What is next? Tapasya paschat. After the event, what should be done, that should be done. That is called takshana kartavya. Is paschatapa. Paschatapa means you should take up the work which is necessary after that event immediately. If something happened, something you lose, you should try to earn it. Next thing is that, or you should just report to somebody and all those things. What is next to be done? That should be done without worrying, without crying, without disturbing your mind. Okay. If you disturb your mind, that you are killing your own self, your own mind. Okay. Whenever you feel something bad, kindly remember that you are troubling yourself. Nobody is to trouble you. You are troubling your own self. That's why we should never repent. Repentance, you should remove that word. There is no repentance. Why should you repent and why should you cry and why should you waste your time? Instead, let us take up the work, what is necessary to undo the thing. Whatever wrong happened, you take action to correct it. That is more important. So, my dear friends, this sort of sarvabhuta daya pushpam, we should be able to kind towards others, though no finding fault with others. Okay. And you be kind to your own self. You are a very great personality. You should not curse yourself. That is the first lesson. And you should not curse anybody, because everybody is like you. Okay. Afterwards, sarvabhuta daya pushpam. And then Kshama Pushpam, Shanti Pushpam. Kshama means you have to have a lot of patience, oceanic patience. Rajneesh Osho was called as oceanic knowledge he has got. That's why he said Osho. We should also be Oshos. That is oceanic patience we must have. Nothing should disturb us. That is what we want. Uh, then Kshama Pushpam, Shanti Pushpam. Shanti means peace. Atma Shanti is very important. You should cultivate peace in your mind. Stability of mind is peace. Should not worry. That's what we are explaining to now. Okay. Then Tapo Pushpam, Dhyana Pushpam. Another two are there. Tapo Pushpam means renunciation. Tapaha means austerity. Should not go for excess, whatever it is. Even you are laughing, you should not laugh excess. Not correct. When you are expressing some anger, you only confine to the necessity, not excess. No. All evils in our self, what is that? Kama, Krodha, Lopa, Moha, Mada, Mascharya, are all evils are there, you cannot escape it, but confine it to the minimum. No excess, please. No excess. Kama means desire, no excess desire. Desire can be there, but not excess. Every desire you keep only on the paper, but don't take it to heart. So not taking to heart is minimum, okay. So like this, tapaha means renunciation, tyaga. Renunciation means tyaga. Or sati sarvatra varjayet. Ati you should cut. That's it. You should adopt that kind of life. That is called tapaha. Dhyana pushpam. Then meditation. You must become a meditator. Then only you will have some sort of asset with you. Otherwise you are left with no asset. So dhyana means it is fetching your wisdom. Dhyana is for happy life. Dhyana is meant for happy life. Otherwise you lose a happy life. The whole life will become problemsome. Okay, the whole life will become without any taste. Nissara, Sara Rahita Jivanam. That's not correct. ಶೋಕ ರಸಂತೋನ್ನ ಜೀವಿತಂ ತಪ್ಪು. ಶೋಕರಹಿತವಾಗಿರಬೇಕು. We should avoid sorrow in our life. Only for dhyana that is possible. Through dhyana we can achieve that. Okay. So dhyana pushpam. And then satyam. Okay. These are the satya means speak the truth. Satyam vada, dharmam chara. Okay. These are the ancient dictums are there from us, but we know it, we don't implement. That is a big problem for us. My dear masters, in this spiritual science is only meant to bring upon the courage to implement what we know. In fact, we know so many things, but we go without implementation. That is a very big problem with us. It is not that we do not know spiritual science, we know it, but we don't implement. For that we should do spiritual classes, and that we should remember off and on. And for that we should cultivate meditation in our life, which is the absolute solution for all evils of this human life. Okay, all sorts of problems will get vanished with one stroke of meditation. And all this ahimsa, indriya nigraha, sarvabhuta daya, shanti, kshama, then tapo, dhyana, and truthfulness, satya. So these are the real assets we must possess. If you have these, simply listening and knowing about them is not the kind of quality what we need. It cannot become an asset for you unless you start implementing them. If you adopt them in your life, then you are considered to be having a wealthy person. If you are simply, we know it, I know but I don't follow, there is no use at all. So my dear friends, PSSA wants every one of us to implement what we know minimum, and what we know we should improve day to day. Okay, we should adopt a lot of reading, swadhyaya, a lot of listening, sajjana sangatya and swadhyaya. On top of it, we should have meditation. See, give a sort of rest to the mind, as the continuous working is harmful, and your mind will not help you better. If you are very strict and if you are continuously using it, it will not help you. We must become friend of our own mind. Our mind is the entire asset for us, and that should be always in a atma gnanic mode. soul knowledge. We should fill it up with soul knowledge. We should fill it up. What is that we have to fill? We have to fill our mind with the spiritual lore, with soul, self knowledge. We should fill our mind with self knowledge. Atma Gnana. Okay. So, this class we learned what kind of people and what kind of food they are to, and what is the values of life, what are the assets of our life. Our assets of life are 8. We should remember always. There's a very great knowledge we have from our literature. Okay, and then all these things is useful only when we implement in our daily life. Okay, masters. So kindly, today's session we would like to conclude by thanking you for this class. Okay.